Hey guys, Amy Leff here. Welcome to my channel. I am the owner and designer of Throwing Stars Jewelry. And if you are trying to figure out your ring size from home, I am here to help, especially with all the online shopping we need to do nowadays. Let's talk ring sizes and how to figure it out from home. This is your traditional ring sizer, which you probably don't have at home. I only have it because I'm a jeweler myself. But what it does show you is that you can, if you have access to a jeweler, you can figure out your ring size within half a size. So here is an 8, for example, or you can go, or you might be a 7 and it looks like a minus sign, but that's really our 7.5. So this is the most precise way to figure out your ring size. If you have a jeweler nearby or a jeweler friend, this is the most ideal and precise way to figure out your ring size. The second best is our world famous ring sizer. It is not something I invented, but I do sell it from my website. It's $5 and the $5 will go toward a future purchase of a ring. So it is a really handy thing that you can keep in a desk drawer for future uses, and it is, you can use it multiple times. So I definitely would get this, invest in it, and you will be reimbursed essentially if you buy a ring from me. So the way this guy works is it reminds me of a zip tie, except zip ties lock into place and this doesn't. What's great about it is it will move for you. So if it's too tight, it'll loosen on its own, which is a great thing. So I want to measure my middle finger. I put it at a 5 just to show you how it works. So I know I'm not a 5. See how it's too tight right above my knuckle? You want it to be just tight enough to go over your knuckle, but not too tight where it's suffocating, and you don't want it too loose where it would just fall off and when you wash your hands with soap and water. So this shows that I'm about a 7 today. Sometimes I'm a 6.5 depending on the day, but a 7 is a little too easy for me to take that on and off. I'm actually going to knock it down to a 6.5. I want it to be just tight enough to where you kind of have to do a little wiggle to get it on and off. That's my recommendation, my 2 cents. Totally your call. My only advice is you don't want it too tight and you don't want it too loose. So the rest is kind of up to you. And guys, if you're trying to figure out your girlfriend's wedding ring size or future engagement ring size, this is a great way to figure it out. Hopefully you could figure it out on the sly. Otherwise, have her join in on the design process and it won't be so intimidating. Just saying. So this is the second best little multi-ring sizer that I recommend, and you'll have it for a long time for future ring purchases. And as a side note, as we get older, our fingers do get bigger. Our knuckles get bigger. So as we age, your ring size will probably have to adjust accordingly. Also, a second side note, I'm right-handed, so my right fingers are slightly bigger than my left. Also, your middle finger is going to be about a size or about half a size bigger than your ring finger. It's not 100% foolproof, but it is enough to know that typically your ring size is about a size smaller than your middle finger. Just keep that in mind. Another way to figure out your ring size is to use a piece of twine. I have a lot of hemp twine from Michael's. What I like about it versus using a piece of ribbon or dental floss is that it does hold its shape a little bit more, and so it is easier to handle. I would recommend having somebody else in your house with you help you figure it out. It is hard to do it one-handed, but ideally I recommend trying to get it as tight as you can, but not too tight, right where your knuckle is the biggest. So you can pinch it with your thumbnail, or mark on it with a marker right where my thumbnail was. And that is what you're going to measure with some measuring tape right there. So that, or a ruler, whatever you have that has any sort of measurement on it, we'll take it. And if you, even better, if you have measuring tape or a ruler that has your centimeters and millimeters on it, this is even more ideal. Inches are fine, but centimeters and the millimeters are what jewelers use, and it really helps us get a more precise reading. Okay guys, here is measuring your twine that you wrapped around your the largest part of your knuckle. As you can see, I marked it right here. I'm gonna snip it right where that line is. And I did a couple of these trial by error. It is not the perfect measuring tool. I just am giving you a heads up, but it will get you really close. I know that this ring, it should be about a size 7. So knowing that, if I lay this out with a handy dandy ruler, see, as you can see, there's not enough detail on the inches side on your typical ruler. I'm going to measure along the centimeter millimeter side. So as a reminder, back to your math class, the 1, 2, 3 are your centimeters, and all of the little notches in between are your millimeters. So there's 10 millimeters per centimeter. So if I lay this out and go all the way here to here, it shows that the length is a little over 6 centimeters. It looks like it's closer to 62 millimeters or 6 centimeters and 2 millimeters. I know from experience that that is off. So let me double check the size. Oh yeah, I didn't get it super tight. So see, I can tell that it overlaps a little. So you do really want to make sure that you get as tight as possible on that knuckle. So I know I need to snip off a few millimeters. So I'm going to snip it here. Let's measure it again. So I do recommend double checking, because it is really hard to get a good reading with using twine. So that looks pretty close. Barely touches and at the biggest part of my knuckle. So we'll try this again. Yeah, that's closer. So you want to measure as close to the very end as possible. So you're starting at 0 right there, and I'm below, yeah, I know it's closer to 50, it looks like 58 or 59 millimeters. So keep that in the back of your head, 58 or 59 millimeters. Or, and I believe that that still might be a little off, just because of what my little research. However, this is an even better way. This is a ring that I know fits on my middle finger. It's almost a 7. And you want to measure the diameter. So the part that goes along the longest part of the middle of your ring. So, and I recommend measuring from the inside of that, of the inside of your ring. And so you don't want to start there, because that's going to automatically take into account, it's not going to be a valid reading. You really want to start it from the inside of your ring. And it looks to me like we are closer to about 17 millimeters. And I don't have a pencil, but to me it looks like it's 17 millimeters. It's a lot harder. If you're trying to measure this way, it's going to be really difficult because the center of your ring is too far away from the measuring part. So really place your ring. I'm going to say this a bunch of times just because I want to try to get it across that you don't want to measure starting from here, because it looks like we're closer from outside to outside. It looks like I'm closer to 20 millimeters or 2 centimeters. And that makes a huge difference when it comes to rings. So inside to inside, it looks like we're closer to 17. That is how I recommend measuring with what you already have. However, the most ideal is if you can get a hold of this little multi-size, the world famous multi-sizer, and I'm happy to send it to you for $5, and the $5 will go toward your next ring purchase. Have a good one. Okay guys, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And again, this is my favorite little ring sizer figure outer. It's the world famous ring sizer, and I'm happy to, it's $5, and that $5 will go toward your next purchase for a ring. And this is the most ideal way to figure out your ring size from home. Have a good one, and please write in the comments below, and I hope to work with you soon. Have a good one.